So what's going on, Trucketeers? It's the Truck Guy here. Wanted to get back to you with another video, and today we're doing the Stanley Quickslide model number 10-810. So I've wanted to review this Stanley for months and months and months, and for whatever reason, you can really only get this knife on Amazon, maybe some other retailers, but Amazon's kind of the big one. It was always up in that $20 plus range where it just, for what it looked like I was getting with the Quickslide, it just did not feel like appropriate value. So I always passed on this knife relative to others. But recently it came down to 15, 19, and I figured, what the heck? I'm going to splurge on it for you guys. And at 15 bucks, I mean, that isn't too much of a splurge in the utility knife industry. So it kind of came down to that price point where it seemed a little bit more reasonable. And what really stuck out to me with this knife was that quick slide feature. So it was, between a more practical knife and something, more unique like the quick slide, where I was thinking, is this something I'm going to use? But that's what makes it fun. So let's go ahead and check out the quick slide. So really that's the key feature of the knife. That's really kind of all that's highlighted on the knife. It says retract blade before removing knife. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. I think that's just for the packaging. On back, it also says retract blade before removing knife. So kind of is what it is. There's also a guard on it, so we'll go ahead and do what Stanley wants, and we'll retract so it retracts with the guard. We'll go ahead and get it out of the packaging and see what we think. Set the packaging aside. So there you go. There's the quick slide. There's the 10-810. And right out of the gates with this retracted, I really like the feel in the hand. It's not only ergonomic, but it actually has some heaviness to it. It has some weight. And I really like that on some of my utility knives. I mean, if I want to feel this in my pocket, I'm definitely going to feel the 10-810 in my pocket. So it's got some nice weight to it. And so where the weight comes into play is if you're working on something, whatever surface you're working on, you get a little bit more, natural downward pressure with the weight of the knife. It just helps that little bit more, as opposed to a light, flimsy knife. So in addition to that, I like the ergonomics of this knife. It actually provides a little bit of downward angle. So additionally, whatever surface you're working on, the downward angle is going to help put your knife in the proper position just to get the ball rolling, and not have you, torque your wrist too much. So definitely liking that. So we'll go ahead, we'll live on the edge. We'll get that protector off. So overall, just a nice look and feel to the 10-810. I'm really liking what Stanley's doing here. It's obviously a very unique looking knife, and it seems like there's some functionality right out of the gates. So I'm not seeing any blade storage. We'll just get that out of the way first. Nothing in terms of blade storage, so we've just got the one in the knife. But let's go ahead and take a look at the quick slide mechanism. That's really the obviously super unique aspect to this knife, but also, really what you're paying for on this knife. So what you want to do is slide this button or lever down and back, and that's going to put it in a locking position at the back of the body of the knife. And as you can see, that's pretty compact. Still stays nice and ergonomic because you've got your handle in place here, and it really locks well at the back of the knife. I don't think this is going to fly open in your pocket, so I think it's an extremely safe mechanism to keep your blade closed. And then deploying the blade, that really flies up. I mean, it's not as quick as a traditional, Milwaukee flip knife, or, something with a button lock, or even, kind of your standard slider. That's going to be faster than this. So the quick slide, I don't like the terminology there because it's not a quick slide. I mean, it's a side slide, which, you know, we can all agree on, but it's not particularly quick. So I'm not loving that, you know, marketing from Stanley. I think, you know, it should be quicker if it's going to be the quick slide. It is what it is. You know, we're not going to harp on it, but it's something that Stanley should be considering when they're marketing and naming their knives. So overall, I like it. It's unique. You know, would I pick it over the Milwaukee, you know, button lock that flies open in, you know, a second? No, but it does its job. You can definitely tell it's going to hold up well with, you know, the metal button or lever here. And it certainly locks down nicely. So if you're looking for something to really lock shut, this might be a good knife for you. So when you've got it fully deployed, there's also an interesting quick change on this knife. So it's a mechanism I really haven't seen too often. So you actually pull up on this tab here, and there's kind of a lever that pulls itself shut. But when you open that lever, you can go ahead and quick change the blade. You can flip it around. And then what you do is you just drop that lever. So make sure it locks in, but it's up and down on this lever, if you can see that. So it's up there, and then we'll pull the blade and it'll lock in place. Up and down on this mechanism to lock in your blade. There's a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of wobble, but nothing crazy. That's to be expected on most utility knives with quick change. So that's the quick change. That's a side slide. On back, you've got a Hardy belt clip. Not a deep pocket carry, but is what it is. Seems like it's going to hold up well over time for the most part. And it's a tight belt clip as well. So if you like tight belt clips, this is definitely going to be in your wheelhouse. Outside of that, you know, it's really a pretty basic knife. It doesn't even say 10810 on it. Usually they've got the model number somewhere. So looks like there's also a small lanyard loop. But the odd thing about this is I'm not seeing any... Wait, I am seeing a passage for a small lanyard loop. So, you know, if you've got some really, you know, small string that can fit in there, you're all good. Obviously, you're not going to get much in this lanyard loop. So I almost kind of passed over it because I didn't see it. And then I thought you almost couldn't get something in there. I thought they were just, you know, for show only. But you can get a small lanyard in there. So that's another feature. We'll give it to Stanley. Overall on this knife, guys, it's simple. It's straightforward. It's to the point. It's going to get the job done. The 10810 seems like it's going to hold up well over time. But if you're looking for a lot of, you know, a lot of thrills and frills, this probably isn't the knife for you. It's pretty run-of-the-mill. Overall, I would say pick it up if you like the design. It seems like something you'd be interested in. $15. It's not going to, you know, break the bank. But if you're looking for something, you know, more fun, quicker, faster, has blade storage to the point, you're probably not going to be in love with the 810. And, you know, we'll see if you're going to be using it a couple of years from now if you picked it up. But I don't think you can go wrong with it. Stanley produces really high quality utility knives, and they're obviously one of, if not the major leader in the utility knife industry. So that's it, guys. Pick it up if you like it. But other than that, I would say, you know, it's probably going to be hit or miss on the 10810. So I had to throw it in for you guys. I said I couldn't find 10810 on the knife, and that is so commonplace with Stanley to have the model number, but it's hiding here on the back. So you've got the 10810 on the back of where the blade extends. So Stanley was hiding it, but we found it. We caught Stanley, and there you go, guys. Stanley lived up to their name, and they got the model number on the knife. So nice job, Stanley. You tried to hide it from us, but we're gonna forgive you. We found it, and it's all good. So that's it, guys. Please like, please subscribe. And as always, we'll talk to you on the next video.